Welcome to today's webinar. This is the first webinar of the year, so we are very excited about that, and we're happy to have you joining us. In today's platform demo, we are going to briefly just talk about who Bond Exchange is as a company, and then we'll dive into how you, as an independent agent, can best utilize the tools that we make available in order to become a Surety Pro. So before we do that, a couple of quick introductions here. My name is Taylor Mullen. I work in business development at Bond Exchange. Wearing a ton of different hats for you guys, but one of the things I'm doing is hosting these webinars. So excited to see what we put together in 2024. And with us today, we have my counterpart, Benton. So Benton, if you can say hi to the agents and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Taylor. Yep, I'm also in business development, but I started as an underwriter, still do some underwriting here and there on the commercial side. So I provide that line of expertise apart from just business development and give you some underwriting insight and go through an app with you today.
Absolutely. Excited to have him here with us and answering all of your hard-hitting questions. So let's dive into who is Bond Exchange. All right. We have been around for quite a long time, since 1977. We are licensed in all 50 states, which means our appointed agents can write bonds in all 50 states. We ourselves are appointed with over 20 different carriers, and we have a very large appetite. So we like to say that we write absolutely everything. As much as we love the fun facts about Bond Exchange, really what we want you to take away from this is our focus as a company is to provide the very best platform and the very best level of service so that all agents, regardless of their area of expertise with bonds, can still quickly and efficiently get those bonds written and get back to business. So let's talk about how we do that. Bond Exchange is wholesale only, which means we partner exclusively with PNC agents. You simply need to have your PNC license to be appointed with us. We do pay 20% commission on all standard bonds, 10% for non-standard, and it's not on here, but 15% for standard contract as well. And our agents do have the ability to add broker fees on top of that commission, and we'll show you how to do that in just a bit. One of the areas that we are obviously highly focused on is our technology. So we have come out with a fantastic online platform that is extremely intuitive and easy to use, already preloaded with over 10,000 bonds in the system. So do not need to be an expert at all to utilize this, and we are excited to show you that today. As much as we love our technology, though, I will say my favorite thing about Bond Exchange really has to be the people. So we are based in Charlotte, North Carolina. That is where our headquarters are. We do have offices now in Dallas and in Sacramento. And we have a fantastic team of underwriters that you can reach 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You can call us, you can email us, you can chat with us on our website, your online portal. Either way, an underwriter will be available to answer your questions and quickly get those bonds written for you so that you are not spending too much time there. So very, very grateful for that team of underwriters. All right, so that is a little bit about who Bond Exchange is. So now we are going to dive into the tools and show you how we can utilize those. So Easy App is kind of the heart of everything. So that is the online platform we're going to walk through. That is where you can pre-qualify, quote, and issue bonds, including contract, SBA, and probate. So a ton of different options there. I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to let Benton walk us through what that looks like in real life.
Thank you, Taylor. Just one moment here. All right, excellent. So you may be familiar with this screen if you've logged into the platform before. This is the welcome dashboard. This is the screen you'll be on right when you log in. You can see here a couple of quick links: new quote, agency policy history, and edit your profile. Any pending quotes or upcoming renewals will be organized here as well for your convenience. And any alerts from us, you'll see here we now can pay via direct deposit. So if you follow that link and register with Veeam, you can start collecting your commission payments on direct deposit. You'll just have to create an account with them, and then those payments will be received about halfway through the month after a policy is issued. But we'll go ahead and dive right into a new quote here. So today we'll be doing a North Carolina motor vehicle dealer bond, nice and simple and based on credit alone. We've tried to make this app feel exactly like a conversation with an underwriter, step by step, making it as simple and seamless as possible to get through it. Even your customers can figure it out, which is great. So once you know the name of the bond needed, you can click yes here. If you don't, you can narrow it down a little bit for that search option by clicking this button here. but we know what we're looking for, and we have a couple of keywords we can use. In this case, motor vehicle dealer bond. You can type the word motor and it shows right up. If you know who's requiring it, but not what the bond is called, you can also type that entity in here and it will also come up. So there we go. You can see here, North Carolina motor vehicle dealer bond for 50,000. The system's just going to confirm that that's what you're looking for. If not, you can go back and research for the bond requirement you are looking for. We'll go ahead and select yes here to continue. You can always send these applications to your customer so they can complete the entire application process online via a link that they receive in their inbox. They can just follow that, quote the bond, issue it, get a digital copy right away, decide where it gets mailed, and then you will just get a confirmation email containing a copy of the policy, your invoice, and we'll be able to download that freely whenever you log into the platform. So if you were to select yes here, you would just provide their first, last name, and email address. That will send them a copy of or a link to access this application. But today we're going to show it what it looks like from the agent's perspective. So go ahead and click off of that. All right. So today we'll be doing a quote for Joe's Auto Sales, and that's an LLC. If at any point in the application you run into a question you don't quite know the answer to, you still can send it to your customer where you left off through this icon here. And again, you'll just enter their first, last name, and email address. That will send them a copy of the link to access this application, and they can finish it for you. So we'll go ahead and continue. You'll just provide the entity type here. And then years in business is an important thing to collect from your client, because it can actually have a reductive effect on the quote. As I indicated earlier, these are quoted based on credit alone. However, the years in business can have a reductive effect on the quote. So if they've been in business for a number of years, they can get those lower rates by providing that information on this question. And you'll just provide your customer's contact information. All right. And then here we have a Google autofill feature, and you may notice these don't really look like Charlotte, North Carolina. Perhaps
Fenton
Taylor
is
will
so
call me out.
busted. Fenton is so busted. He is in Utah skiing right now. He took time away from that, though, to be here and walk us through that. So we are endlessly grateful and very jealous.
Well, thank you, Taylor. Yes, yep, I've been exposed. I'm in Park City right now, but I always have time for a webinar. So go ahead and knock out this application real quick and then get out on the slopes. So if there's a separate mailing address, you can go ahead and add it here. We're going to say no just to keep it simple, or yes, just to keep it simple. My apologies. And if they did have a separate mailing address, you could just enter it there, and that's where the bond and the documents would be mailed. But this is also a phony client. We're not about to give you someone's real social security number, but this is typically required for applications that run a soft credit check. So this is just so that we can find the applicant on Experian. This is a very easy identifiable factor with them. Sometimes we can get it without the social, but it's typically required to get a credit report. So that's why we ask for it. And if they have a different home address, you'd want to enter it here. In this case, it's not a real client, so it's not going to kick out if that address is incorrect. However, you typically do have to provide their home address at this stage so that the credit report can be run. We're going to go ahead and select yes, just to keep it simple. Like I said, it should work. If there's any other owner who owns more than 10% of the company, they should be added here as well. Any owner over 10% should be included in the application. So we'll select no, and then you can choose a day, any day, 30 days prior to or after today's date for the bond to be effective. We're just going to select today to keep it simple, but just know you have that freedom at this stage. Now the system is calculating a rate, providing us those terms so that we can go ahead and issue this online. There we go. Congratulations, your customer is approved for the following terms. We really like to highlight this option here. This is our monthly subscription option. The client can simply pay that monthly fee every month for the duration of the bond. And if they don't need it anymore halfway through the term, no harm done. The bond will be canceled and they just don't have to keep paying those monthly premiums. Just let us know and we'll go ahead and close out the policy and go on from there. We are the only company in the surety space to offer such an option for cancelable bonds. So we're quite proud of that. And you can kind of notice here, there is a bit of interest included. This is 10% of the annual rate. There's 12 months in a year. So we're looking at about 20% interest if they opt for that option. And then Like Taylor mentioned earlier, broker fees can be added to any application on our site, renewal or new business. You would do so here before sending the terms to the client. So if you wanted to add one, you'd select yes, and then just key in the amount that you would like to add. They'll see the total amount due. We'll be able to issue that policy, and then you will be paid that broker fee with your commission when that is made out. So we'll select no, just to keep it simple. And then you have another option, or another chance to send it to your customer so that they can just issue it online. At this stage, though, they would not be recompleting the whole application. They would just be selecting the term that they would like to go with, signing for the bond, and providing payment. By signing for the bond online, it would just be checking a box that counts as an e-signature, and then they're good to go. If you do not want them to go online, or you don't think they may be capable of doing that, you can always select no. It is very simple, but you can always select no here and do it on their behalf. You will have to get this PDF version of the application signed by the client. And once you do, you can upload this and then issue the policy on their behalf. So they would just sign here, provide credit or debit card information, and select the term they would prefer. If they don't do that, you still can pick that information for them. Really, we just need a signature on the indemnity agreement, and then you can upload that here to the system. And we do check these. So if you do upload a blank one, we'll definitely reach out for a completed version of it, but you can issue it on your customer's behalf here. If they want overnight shipping, we offer FedEx overnight for $30 anywhere in the country. So they can get that bond the very next day as an original copy. By original, I mean having a raised seal. Typically that's required by the obligee to be acceptable. It just shows that the bond is a legitimate document and not a fraudulent one. So oftentimes obligees do require that mailed copy. There are many who now are accepting e-filing. In that case, we would refund an overnight fee if it were incidentally selected. So we'll go to standard, just to keep it simple. And then if you want to enter a separate delivery address from customer's address or the mailing address, your agency address, you can enter that here. We're going to go ahead and send it directly to the customer. We'll go with that monthly subscription option that we're so proud of. And then you can issue any policy, new business or renewal on agency bill. So there's no set preference for your agency. It's really flexible. The only preference that your agency will have is where we send the renewal mailers. That's when the bond is coming up for renewal. We send a mailed invoice to either the agency or the customer, depending on your preference. We'll go ahead and do a customer payment. We have a customer's credit card here. This is not a real credit card either, but it works here on our test website. So I wouldn't recommend trying it. It doesn't really look very legitimate anyway. So
You only purchase phony bonds with it.
Yep. That's the only purpose of this card. And now the system is generating those policy documents, sending out those confirmation emails, getting everything wrapped up on our end. And of course, right after doing this, our underwriters will be notified. We'll review that policy document, make sure everything looks good. You can provide feedback if you would like. I'm not going to inflate our reviews here, but you can see you can download the bond, a payment receipt, your invoice, the customer's invoice, and return to your dashboard. So we'll go ahead and hop back to the dashboard here. So this is where we started. We can go ahead and jump to our agency policy history. This will show us the bond that we just issued. If you were to click here, you could have another opportunity to download any documents related to the bond or make any changes to the bond if needed. If you need to change any information about your agency, you can do so from that overview page. You can add and remove agents on the agents tab. Your renewals will be sorted separately. They'll be in this tab, but they'll be separated here for your convenience, so you can monitor those as they're coming up. Any bond quotes you've submitted or submissions you've made to us that haven't been quoted yet will be in this tab. And then if you do issue anything on agency bill, you can make payments in the billing and payment tab by using payment methods that you've added in the payment methods tab. Your producer agreement and any other agency documents that we've been provided or that you have uploaded will be in this file library. Notifications from us will be there. And then last but not least, commission statement. You're not going to see any for this year yet. We'll go ahead and hop back to 2023. And once you've issued policies with us and payments have been dispersed, these will be available right here in CSV format, where you will be able to get the bond number and the business name. And if you ever need to look up that policy, you can go back to this policies tab, enter that bond number, and make any adjustments or download any documents you might need. So let's get back to the dashboard really quickly before I hand the reins back to Taylor. Another thing I just wanted to touch on is where to find our Surety Pro feature. So you can hop here to edit your profile, or in this top right corner, you can select profile from the drop-down menu. We're going to go ahead and jump over there. So this is the individual agent's profile page. If you want to be shown on Book Builder, which Taylor will talk about here shortly, you will just make sure that is selected to on. And then for Surety Pro, this is where you will find the installation panel. So just click that, and Taylor will go into more detail here in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and hand the reins back to Taylor, and we'll go from there.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen again. All right. Thank you for that, Benton. So that was an online bond application. Pretty simple. I am not an underwriter and I can handle that. So I believe all of our agents can do that as well. But yes, let's dive into Surety Pro now. Okay, so what is Surety Pro? Benton showed us how to find it, but what the heck is it? So Surety Pro is taking that agent-facing online bond application that you just saw and making it customer-facing. And now that gives you the ability to paste an embedded application directly on your website so that your customers can fill out a bond from your website. We also have the ability to provide a link if you want to email that, text it to customers, post it on social media, anything that you need. Again, it is customer facing, so they will be able to put in all their information, purchase the bond, and then you will just get an email that it was complete. So let's see what that actually looks like. All right, so Benton showed us this is how we find Surety Pro, but what do we do with it? So this is going to be the example of what in the button looks like right here. So again, this is an embedded application, and I will show you that on a website, but let's talk about how to edit it and make it ready for your particular web page. So content and style, this is where we are going to live to edit this button. So you can edit all of the text to whatever you want it to say. Context, business name, you can add some spacing here if you want that to be more center, whatever looks best, whatever your preference is. So that's going to be all of the text. Then we're going to go to style, and this is where you're going to be able to edit this widget. So we can make it thinner, we can make it taller, we can add a massive border, change that color. All right, we can edit the colors on here to match your web page. So if you know what your hex code is, you can enter that, just depending on however you know your numbers. If you want, you can just take this dropper, see, and match it right there. Oof, I would not pick these colors, but you can keep playing around with it. And as soon as it looks exactly how you want it to, you would simply hit copy code. Now, all of that code for that button hasn't been copied, and you would simply place it on the web page where you want this bond application to live. So again, I will show you that in just a minute. But that is going to be this is the embedded application. Now, if you don't have a website, or you just want to figure out how to send this application, as I was mentioning, through email, text, social media, that would be the shareable link. So the only thing you have to do for the shareable link is click that, and now it is copied. You can paste that in a URL if you want to see it, and we'll show you that in a minute. But you can also just email that link, text it out to anybody. So that is going to be just a general link for both of them. You'll see up here, though, that we can make these options more specific. So right now, it's just going to start with what state are you in, what kind of bond do you need. But if you want that pre-filled already, you can go in here, put in the state, put in the bond type. Motor vehicle dealers seem to be popular, and then copy the code now. And now it'll be specific to, is this the bond that you need and in this state? So it just gets them in that application a little bit quicker and more specifically. And that's just going to be based off of, your customers and what you think they need. So let's see what these look like in real time. This is going to be Surety Pro, the embedded version. So this is a mock agency website here. I'm sure they're wonderful. And here is their Surety Pro button. So you can see all right, I am now in the application and I have not gone anywhere. I am still on the agents page. So I would be able to completely fill this out, do everything Benton just showed us, sign the bond, purchase it, all of that, and I'm still on this page. So now when I'm done purchasing that bond, if I need anything else, I'm already here, I'm not directed away. So do I need an auto quote? Do I need a home quote that I forgot about? I can still do this because I'm still on the web page. So that is absolutely fantastic. However, if we do need that shareable link, it is simply, again, just a separate URL. So we have put that here in this link, and we'll show you what this looks like. Should look pretty familiar. So if you have your logo updated in your agency overview page, that will show up here. If you want to put a headshot for your particular user profile, that can also show up here as well. Again, just making sure the customer knows exactly who they are working with, but this should look pretty simple. You can text us and email this. This is mobile friendly. And once your customer clicks on it, they're in the bond application and it will be attached to you as the agent. So absolutely fantastic. We love Surety Pro. All right. Have you here for a little bit longer, guys. So we're going to go over one more tool. This is Book Builder, and this is actually my favorite application that we offer our agents. So Book Builder is Bond Exchange's find an agent tool. A lot of pages have a find an agent tool, right? But what we have done is taken all of the traffic that we get to our website. So we put out blog articles, YouTube content, fabulous webinars. And because of that, our SEO is really good. We get about 20,000 unique site visitors to our webpage every month, and a lot of them are retail customers. So what we wanted to do was pair those retail customers with our appointed agent because we are a wholesaler. We always want an agent attached. So Book Builder allows customers to find an agent near them and then purchase a bond on our webpage, do all of the work you've seen, and the agent would simply get an email letting them know they have a new principal in their book of business and commission coming their way. So let's show you what that looks like. I know I learn best by visual, so I always like to show people. So if you go to our website, find an agent, you simply put in your area here, just pick one on top, view agent. All right, so you can see they have filled out some information. They have an agency bio, contact information. They've uploaded a headshot, which we love. And if we wanted to, we'd simply hit get a quote here. And again, this should look very familiar. We would then start that bond application process, and our agent hasn't had to do anything. So they simply had to be appointed with us and turn their public profile to on. So kind of a hard tool to beat. Okay. Well, we have given you guys a ton of information here. So we are going to take a few minutes and see what questions we can answer. There is a Q&A feature at the top. Please feel free to start putting in your questions there, especially since we have Benton, a little bit of an underwriting expertise. So what questions do we have today?
Sure. Looks like we already got one here. What is the cancellation process? How long does it take to flat cancel the bond? So bonds can be canceled the same day that we receive the request. However, a lot of bonds have a cancellation provision in them where we have to send out a notice making that cancellation actually effective anywhere from 30 to 120 days after the date we mailed that out. So flat cancel, though, is a different story. When a bond was not used or was not accepted by the obligee, if you send it back to us, we'll just provide a full refund. A midterm cancellation, it will be a prorated refund, but a flat cancellation, it would be a full refund. So if we have proof that the obligee wouldn't accept it, we may not even need the bond back. We'll just go ahead and refund it in full. Or if the customer can prove they didn't use it somehow, then that would also be a case. But midterm cancellation would become effective 30 to 120 days, depending on the stipulation of the bond form, and a prorated refund would be provided so long as the first year term is not fully earned, which varies from carrier to carrier. So I hope that.
And what is the cancellation? Absolutely. What is the cancellation process then if they are on the monthly subscription? How does that work exactly?
Absolutely. So like I said earlier, when you're on the monthly subscription option, there is no money owed in either direction when that bond is canceled. The premium is earned based on each month as that policy continues. So once that monthly premium's paid, then that month is earned. If it were canceled right then and there, then that would be it. No money would be owed from the carrier to the client or from the client to the carrier. So it would just stop right then and there. And if a payment fails, I believe our system will give it 3 days before it will be canceled. So yeah, they'll have a little bit of time to make sure that payment method is correct. Okay, we have another question here from Dana. Could you walk us through setting up our Bond Pro page and where we upload the headshot? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Taylor can hop right into that here. Looks like she
Let
already
me
has that
get
screen
back
pulled
into
up.
this page. All right. So let's go to my agency. So once you log into the portal, again, it's just bondexchange.com, hit login, username, password, all there. It'll take you to that page we were just on. So you just need to hit my agency, and that's going to get you to the agency overview page. So again, we have the agency overview and the agents tab, so it's separate. So for the agency itself, you simply would need to come here and hit edit agency, and now this information is editable. So bio right here for additional information is where you want to put the about your agency, that little blurb that we saw on Book Builder. And then when you want to add a company logo, you would simply on the agency overview page, just choose file here and upload that right here. So it really is that simple. For a headshot, you would go to your agent page, view user, and again, you can see this will be your user profile specifically with your first and last name, and you would just choose file and put your headshot there. Absolutely. So hopefully that helped out a little bit. I love walking through that. Okay.
All right, looks like we have another question from Alicia. If a bond is canceled due to the California license being canceled, can it be reinstated if the license is active again, or does a new bond have to be issued? So long as the license number remains the same bond could be reinstated, so long as that bond also has not lapsed and gone past that final cancellation date. So like I said earlier, there's usually a cancellation provision in the policy itself. I believe for the California Licensing Board, it is the California Contractors Licensing Board, that is 30 days. So long as that 30 days has not passed, we can use the same bond again, as long as the bond number remains the same as well. Okay. From Joseph Caruso, there's another InsurTech platform offering 30% commission. Can you match that commission rate? At the present time, no. We're sticking to 20%. However, I could see that happening in the long-term future. It's really difficult for a wholesaler to remain profitable at that kind of commission rate. You know, it's not very sustainable, at least from our calculations. We're definitely interested in doing everything we can to make this platform better and get our agents more money, of course. But currently, no, we are not matching that commission rate. There may be special exceptions, which we would be happy to discuss, but at the present time, I would say no, that will not happen.
Yeah, and I will say that our focus, again, like I said, is really creating the best platform and tools available. So we do know that there are other providers who do offer a bit more commission, but where we spend our focus on is making sure that you're not spending a lot of time on these bonds. So one thing our platform does that those competitors offering a higher commission cannot do is that we can quote bonds with higher limits in our platform. We also have the ability to upload automated financial data. So instead of having to go back and forth with an underwriter and take that time that you would have to do with said competitor, you can actually in the bond application you can tie in your your Intuit. We can look at that information for your financials. You can pull in the MasterCard Finicity, so we can pull in your bank statements for personal credit. So we have the ability to do all of that in our application. We also have the ability to authenticate identification in our application, and that again is going to be through the platform. So that's just going to save us time with the back and forth, because really what we know about the bond industry is that agents will say that bonds take too much time for the amount of commission that they get. So our focus is to get you guys spending as little time as possible so that you're actually writing more business. The other thing that we do is, again, bring in that additional book of business for you. So we are bringing in additional clients. We get emails all the time from agents asking, who is this person that I'm supposed to be getting commission for? Because we've paired them with a person they've never met. So now we're bringing in additional principles to their book. So really that's what we focus on from a perspective, is making surety easy and effective and therefore profitable. But that is where our commission stands. All right. Okay, once the link is created, so the Surety Pro link is created and we've selected colors, do those colors also apply to the pages as the client clicks through? So no. So once the client is clicking through, that will just go back to our platform. It's white. It's just a white screen with blue buttons, and that's just so that those are really easy to see. So those colors won't stay in that application. They'll just stay on the button format that the person is going to click on.
Yeah, so that customization is just for like the entrance to the application, just that initial widget before they open that up, just so it can match the theme of your website as like a little icon or widget there. But once you open it up, it, as Taylor said, it will look just like the application I went through, except embedded on your website. And it
Can
looks
you
like
have more than one location? So what we actually recommend is all of your agents on the platform can have their own Surety Pro. It's depending on how you want to work that out, but agents can have a different address than the agency. So if you have an agency headquarters somewhere and you have agents at your office all over the country, they can have their own address in the system for their specific user profile. So like, for example, when somebody is looking on Book Builder, that will then expand the areas that your agents will pop up because it'll be based off of their profile.
So we have another question. Does a bond automatically cancel and if an EFT payment doesn't go through? So we accept credit card and e-check payments. So if that doesn't go through on a monthly subscription policy, then yes, after 3 days of sending notifications out that the payment has failed, then the system will automatically cancel the bond. So that would only apply to subscription policies. And again, they would be notified 3 days in 3 separate notifications that a payment has failed before that takes place.
Okay. For the accounts that come to us from you, is there a central place where we can see our entire book include? Absolutely. So in the tab, and I'm more than happy, let me share that and I can show you one more time. So in this dashboard here, this is the policies tab. So this is where you see absolutely everything in the system. You see issued bond, you see bonds that are pending, you see ones that are under review, issued and filed, quote expired, renewal, every single thing will live in this policy tab. So our system not only is a really easy bond application, it works as a whole back office for your bond system. So we keep track of all of that for you again. Policies, renewals, payment methods, billing, commission statements, all of that lives in here simply on exchange.com, log in and put in your credentials.
And you will get a separate notification when a policy is booked through Book Builder. It will say this customer found you via our agent finder or was automatically paired with your agency. So you'll get that notification once a policy is issued, and they will be, like Taylor said, in the same place as all the other policies you've provided to us before that. So thank you for that question, Dana. And then it looks like Dennis asked, how can I see this training video for my staff once uploaded to my agency website? We're certainly going to send a recording of this, so you could definitely view it there. We're also happy to host one-on-one demos for your agency, so both Taylor and myself can do a more customized presentation and meeting with you all. Just feel free to reach out anytime, schedule a meeting, and we're happy to do that. And Dana
Absolutely.
said, by the way, we love BX. Thank you, Dana. We really
Oh, love
appreciate
you too,
that.
Dana. Okay. Let's see.
It looks
One
like
more.
Nixley said, how long are bond quotes good for? Typically 30 days. It depends on the bond, though. If it's an employee dishonesty bond, indefinitely, the rate's not going to change. We'll just have to, adjust the effective date on our system. But typically 30 days is the time frame before that quote will expire.
Okay.
Is origin noted? So Dana had another question. Is origin noted somewhere on the dashboard? You mean like where the policy came from? Currently, no, but that has been suggested to our developer team and has been brought up as a potential feature add to where we can really track and get a report of those policies on a monthly basis, seeing where each came from, who quoted it, and all of that information. So we're definitely looking into that. But currently, no. When you open up the policy itself, you can see at least we can, I'm actually not confident that this is something you can see, but we can see where it came from on our end. I will have to get back to you and confirm whether or not we can see that on
Yeah.
the agent perspective.
But you will definitely get an email when it is coming from us to let you know about that. So we will email you. So I would say definitely just keep an eye out for those. But then we will look into, I believe that you can see when you edit the policy, but Dana, we will email you directly later today with an answer to that question. Let me just write that down.
I can take a quick look right now and see if that item, I know we definitely can. I'm just not sure if it's visible on the
Mhm.
agent side. I'm opening that up now, and I will share it with you if that is the case.
And just a reminder too, so we will email out this recording. And like Benton said, we are more than happy to do demos. Again, you can just email the email address you see on the screen. That will go to both Benton and myself. You can send any questions if you don't want to send them in this webinar. But again, just email us if you would like to do a demo for your agency or just a refresher, or if you need help, a little bit more hand holding, walking you through that Surety Pro process. I know we do it very quickly in the webinar. So if you want to do that a little bit slower, we can definitely do that. But I will also say Bond Exchange has a YouTube page. So if you ever need to look up any sort of webinar we've done, all of those exist on our YouTube page, as well as just other information, other content that we post as well.
So Dana, I did look into that a bit. It looks like it's not visible from your view. Perhaps that's something we could change. I guess I'm not really sure why it wouldn't be visible for our agents, but currently we can only see that on our end. From your end, there is no the origin is not listed. Again, that may be something we can add on your end as well. So.
We have, okay, Dennis, I will give you a call. I do have a couple of things after this, but I will give you a call very shortly after this meeting here to see how I can help. Okay. Is that, do we have one more question on here? We need to set up a name. Okay.
Mhm. So yeah, so
Got it.
we'll definitely be providing the origin of the policy if it's something other than one you submitted directly. That would be via email. However, like I said, maybe we can start having that posted on the platform as well. So it's a great
Mhm.
suggestion.
And if you're ever not sure, if you wanted to call us or email us ever, we can always look that up. We have customers who have been with agents forever, and sometimes we just need a refresher on their general customers. So we can definitely give you some of that historical data if you ever call into us. But I think that is all that we have today. So we owe a couple of emails and phone calls. We will be emailing this out probably by end of day today for the recording. If not, we will get it out by tomorrow at the absolute latest. But again, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate all the agents who are working with us and asking questions and just getting excited about bonds. We are very happy to help with any bond questions. Benton and I can help with marketing bonds, anything that you need. So please feel free to reach out to us. And otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and we will see you on the next webinar, guys. Thank you so much.